This is the lower end of the property. We're going to be walking towards the orchard down towards the house itself. But you can kind of see down there the log pile that the last guy who owned it, he ripped out some of the stump and the old logging stuff to kind of clear a path here and get up for hunting and things of that nature. But he had some unfortunate events, and that's why we were able to acquire the property. You can see one interesting about this property is that it was all terrace farm at some point, so all these stones, there are I think 7 or 8 of these stone walls. The whole property is outlined by stone, and then there are kind of evidences of old pastures and milk barns and things throughout the property. But coming down off the property, you can see that heavy poplar. There's an old ash tree that's been getting the boar beetle. That's one of the things. So that's why we were looking at the spring or summer of 2019 to try and if we had to timber some of this to get back some of it, and then also to make sure that the investment end of it, the return on the money, was taken care of. So that's what we're looking to do. Right here you can kind of see there's a hickory there, another nice big poplar, and continues all the way through. So all that down there is part of the property. All of that up there is ours, and kind of as far as you can see here in Yale, there's nobody here. So we're walking down closer to the road. You can see the deer trail that kind of goes through here. This was the old orchard, and it was a strawberry patch farm at one point. Irrigation came off the hill, and the other farmer had, or the other owner had, strawberry and other things down here as well, some apple trees. So as we head around here, you'll see the farm itself. Across the street, see that trailer? That's part of the property I was telling you about that was sold to the, or divided off, I should say, to the daughter of the previous owner. She's in her late 80s now. There is a farmhouse, the old coop. We have 2 beehives there. That will soon be up to 6. But in general, just a pretty neat property. Okay, so in a minute I'm going to take you up to the house, show you what we've done, and then I'll take you up to the 3rd floor so you can see what's been going on. So this is the porch of the house, which was originally done with timber frame. When we started working on it, collapsed. So I rebuilt the whole thing, spray foamed it, put new windows in, repointed some of the work that was here. I'm going to take you into, I figured I might as well show you this. This was the original house. Here, as you can see, the door frame is pretty low. I smacked my head on it. And this original part of the house, what had happened was all of the walls, which are now repointed, and the windows redone, all of this pointing was horsehair plaster. All of the beams were painted. You can see some of the old nails that were still in there. And the roof itself was collapsed, so we rebuilt it. Repointed every window, repointed every stone in here, took it all down. And in this particular room, which will be a music room, it's actually 12 and a half by 12 and a half. This was the original house with mother and father and 6 kids. That will be a half bath in there. So that was the other window that's now in the house. You can kind of see, if you look at it, you can kind of conceptualize where the original house was. So this one's just about wrapped up. This in the next week or two we'll be out of here and moving into other parts of the house. But I figured I'd show you that. It's kind of neat piece of history of the farm. So this was the original house.